We in the building. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let's see what's going on, y'all. I wanted to rap with y'all today. Rap with y'all today. It's not crazy. Hoo. What's happening, MB? How you doing? How you doing? Y'all seeing represented today with the nostalgia? Yeah, yeah, it's that time. Yeah, yeah, turtle power, straight like that. MB, what you drinking? What you sipping on tonight? I got me some Stag. You can see it. Stag. Yeah, that's some of that Trinidadian beer that my white folks bought me, and I've been hooked to ever since then. You know what I'm saying? Pretty good, actually. Mm, my guy Joe. Welcome to the Breakthrough Crew, Joe. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now you got to tell us what you're sipping on, brother. We got a good subject. We got a good topic tonight. Let me see. At first, y'all know how I do it. Got to do my cloud tech news. As long as I found some topics I want to share. Let's see. There's been some good stuff going on too. Hold on. I know it's back specifically what I want to talk about. All right. Uh, let's see. While y'all get in here, I'm gonna get ready. That's why I should have a mouse. I don't know why I'm just using my mouse for this. Let's see about that. Then we're gonna talk about uh, and then we're gonna talk about. Let me see one more thing. See, what is this happening today? It's crazy because my my Google screen, like usually on my phone, my Google feed gives me all the latest tech news like every by the minute. But on my Google feed on my desktop, my laptop, it's like crash. You know, it doesn't my feed isn't busy with tech stuff because that's how I set up my alerts and such. Whataburger. What would you know about that water butter sweet with that sweet tea and that Tito's? Oh yeah, Joe, you from the South. You definitely from the South, baby. Yeah, that's what I'm just see. If you ain't from the South, you don't know about that good water burger, that good burger. It put real mayonnaise on your burger. They really grill your burger. Well, at least that's how it used to be the original one. I think the original one might be in Concord, where I'm from, but um, I don't know. The new ones I've seen look different from the ones back home in North Carolina. So, but what a burger, man! Can't go wrong, baby. Sweet tea with the Tito's. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I wasn't even planning to get on tonight, but wife's not home, and I got some things I need to continue to teach you all about, educate you all on. I figured why not? Get in between. I know we had last week we had a really popping tech at night. If you joined on, I really appreciate you. Um, we had Ryan Wright on, who's an IM Azure IM engineer, dropped nothing but bombs the whole way, nothing but jewels. That's actually the longest tech at night I've ever had in the past. What 4 or 5 months I've been doing this. Every if not every week, every other week at least. But man, that was explosive. He offered lots of insights. Purely talked about his journey from working at Blockbuster to now working for a Fortune 500 company that's has 10,000 plus employees, and he's the first IAM Azure manager for the entire company. Yeah, that was some trailblazing stuff. And he was just dropping tips on what to do, what not to do, and self-taught. He's completely self-taught. In fact, he went to college for marketing, So he started up, project up, hustled up, and worked his way up through the opportunities that he capitalized on. All right, so I got my news topics. I got my news topics. Let's get some more folks in here. Kenneth Robinson, we got you, buddy. We got you, baby. We got you, baby. So you didn't even tell us what you're drinking, Kenneth. Come on, brother. You gotta, what happened to being, a gentleman. You know, you walk into the environment of other gentlemen who are drinking and partaking, and you can't even share what kind of spirit you're on tonight. And as I always say, and I tell y'all, you can't trust a man if you don't know a man's vices. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna always put my vices in front of you, so you know I'm real. You know what I'm about. So let's get into these tech news. So y'all know how we do it. Um, we cover three tech news topics, and from you all's responses, you're going to give us a two, if we should deploy it to the cloud, meaning this is relevant tech news to cloud engineers, cloud security engineers. We're going to put two in the chat. If it's not relevant, you're going to put three in the chat. Three in the chat basically means that we're going to control delete that news story. We're going to act like it never existed because it's not relevant to the cloud industry of cloud engineers and cloud security. So, and it kind of give us the little icebreaker before we dive into the topic today. We talk about basically training do's and do nots when you're a self-taught cloud engineer. He said he on that Jose Quavo. Okay, my God. Okay, I had some of that last night, man. I had some Jose Quavo with some sweet tea, Joe, with some sweet tea. Man, you really from the South. If you can mix any kind of spirit or liquor with some sweet tea, you're doing well in life. You hear me? That's good living right there. With good food, oh, yeah, and put on a good movie. By the way, me and my wife been watching. We just finished watching Physical 100. Y'all watch that? Physical 100. We just the second season. First, they always do it in Korea. I think it's South Korea, not North Korea. I don't think they're doing it in North Korea, but they could be. Anyway, they have every fit athlete from the whole country compete in this challenge to see which body type is the most fit. And they go through these grueling challenges. It is so amazing, man. Oh my God. Just even the cultural difference and how they respect each other and in the heat of competition. And just seeing, and one thing we noticed over the last 2 years of watching it, last two seasons of watching it, is that the more lean fit bodies that's about the height of 5'10" to 5'9", 5'10" to 5'9", and lean are the most fit bodies that can endure anything. Because literally, you're competing with 100 physical specimens of all body types. Let me know if y'all have ever seen this series. It's on Netflix. Freaking amazing. Now it's dubbed out because they're Korean. Everybody talking Korean, but they dub it out so you understand the whatever language you're in. I was English, and man, they just finished, and man, oh my God, it's a battle to the end, baby. But anyway, that's just one of our many shows that me and my wife like to indulge in. But no, thanks. No AI features. All right, so let's get into the topic. What kind of BMF would you drinking, baby? All right, so remember, two, if we this story, this we're gonna do cloud tech news. Two, if we should deploy it to the cloud, meaning it's a good story and it's relevant to cloud engineers, security engineers, or put a two or put a three in the chat if it's not relevant to us at all, and we're gonna control delete that story. First story I want to start off with. Tesla started laying off 14,000 employees. All right. 14,000 employees they laid off. They said that basically Tesla sent an email to employees saying on Monday, this happened Monday, saying they were laying off about 10% of their workforce, which equates to 14,000 people. And Tuesday, most of those employees found out they didn't have, no longer had a job. and the whole thing went, according to the news stories, went as about poorly as you can think as far as execution for a company that sometimes seems to operate at the whim of his merciful CEO, Elon Musk. So there's definitely a little bias in this particular article. But 14,000 people got laid off. Trying to find out what part of their business. So with these layoff stories, especially in tech, when it comes to tech companies, and Tesla is one of those tech forward companies. I always talk about when people try to migrate and trying to get their first tech role, and they always try to aim for these tech forward companies such as a Tesla. I always kind of warn them like you don't want to work really, especially a first role, work for a tech forward company. If you get a shot to do so, great, excellent. But that shouldn't be your aim because most companies deal with technology, and every company that interacts with tech needs a tech staff. So, and they pay just as well with the same, similar, if not even better perks, and more stability than tech forward companies. So, Tesla laid off 14,000 folks. Um, uh, they said in many cases they're paying employees through June 15th. It's currently April 17th. So they're going to pay their employees up to, they're still going to receive a paycheck for basically 60 days. Um, so remember that whole thing I talked about, severance packages and stuff like that? There is a silver lining in getting laid off, and it's actually can be a come up. And I got a whole video about that. I think I maybe did a tech at night about it, because I've been laid off twice. Um, the severance package, is come up, baby. That's a come up. You In a lot of cases, you'll get the severance package, which is a percentage of your salary, especially if you're a salary employee. Sometimes if you're a contractor, you'll get your severance pay, which is a percentage of your salary on top of continuous paychecks up until that 60-day period. Because I think by law, most in a lot of big states like California, New York, etc., when they lay off, they have to give like a 60-day or 90-day notice. So they prepare to pay out their employees up until that point. So anyway, do y'all think this is relevant story to cloud engineers? Give me a 2 in the chat if you want to deploy it to the cloud, or if we're gonna do it, give me a 3 in the chat if we're going to control alt delete, control delete this news story if it's not relevant to engineers. I'm gonna make a decision because I can't wait on you. All right, we ain't doing this all. We ain't doing this all night. All right. So I'm going to control alt delete. That's not relevant to us. But again, the layoff thing is prevalent as far as layoffs, because layoffs are frequent occurrence in the tech industry, in particular among tech forward first companies. Really, a lot of companies, the whole economy is kind of right sizing, so it's that whole thing. But yeah, man, just this is one of you got to be careful and not. And there's been stories coming out about people moving across, even a buddy of mine moving across the country for these tech companies, only to get laid off 6 months later. You just got to be prepared to always have your bags packed. You can't find family and home with these tech companies. They are not your family. They are not your friends. You might make friends within the company and family with some members of the company, but they aren't your people. Don't invest in so when I be seeing people post these, oh, this is a great place to work, and they post all these inside photos and content of working at this for these tech companies, I just shake my head because I'm like, they're gonna lay you all off like you never existed there, like they never had a relationship with you because it's the business, so never get too cozy wozy with these businesses, especially these tech businesses, as thinking it's going to be a forever home or you're going to retire with this company and you're going to rise in the ranks. Like it's not the reality, you know. But yeah, next news story. So this is my favorite this week. I wanted to talk about this is and I've been talking about this if you follow me on Twitter, Cloud Tech Big Up at Cloud Tech Big Up. Um don't blame MKBHD for the fate of Humane AI. All right, so if you don't know, we kind of talk about it a little bit. Uh, so basically, Humane AI came out with this little tech, physical tech product that basically um, allows you to. It's supposed to be this all-in-one like AI new fourth generation tech product that helps you assist lets your like your personal assistant throughout the whole day. It's supposed to help you Set reminders for your alarm clock. Supposed to help you with navigation, finding the best route to a destination. It's supposed to help you answer questions for almost basically like having Alexa, Amazon Alexa on your pinned to your chest. And I think how you described it's like a magnet on the back. It has a pin on the front, and it connects through like a magnetism. And anyway, he gave this horrible review because it's a trash product. Like he wasn't the only reviewer that trashed it because it's a trash product. But MKBHD is a highly, I'm not gonna say he's the most credible technology product reviewer on the planet. And I've been watching him since, like I said, 2012. Very credible. And so there, some he's getting some backlash from Human AI, of course. Um, and there, the tech community is defending him, of course, but he's getting backlash specifically from Human AI and other, other people who are saying that, oh, he's crashing the company, he's tanking the company, blah 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 blah. And even he and MKB usually never does this. He had to go back and expound on his review and why he gave it and how he's not responsible for a company failing, and how some companies have even benefited from him giving critical reviews of the products. And at the end of the day, look, and I said this on Twitter, these I blame the internal organization at Humane AI for putting out a trash product. You can't blame the market, especially reviewers in the market, product reviewers in the market, for telling the truth about your product, so we all don't go buy a crappy product, because that tanks the credibility of the product reviewer of us thinking, oh, they just bought you, so we can't trust what you say, X, Y, Z. So it's like, their internal team, they do this, and I see this so many tech organizations. You have your sales executive team, your leadership team, who aren't tech people, who aren't engineers in the weed, actually creating and developing not only the product itself, but more so the infrastructure that supports the product. And as Mem KBH said, like you can tell when he was at, like he was doing tests about asking the pen for certain directions and things, that it would take so much time. Like we're talking about like 20-second intervals of time before it gives a response, but because it's generating data basically from a cloud servers. And that tells me that the infrastructure supporting those tech products aren't good at all, actually. And because there's a lot of latency there. And so, and because again, when you rush your engineering team, I've seen this so many times. These C-level executives who aren't touching the engineering side at all, or have no experience with it, are rushing and pressing the engineering team to develop and get to production without understanding the underlying nuances of what needs to take place in further testing to make the product perform how as well as it looks, right? And and they didn't listen. And so they hurry up and rush and put this product on the market. They want to be the first to have this type of AI device that's so forward, that's so Star Trek communicator, resemble and everything, and it's trash. So anyway, I know I kind of went on the spiel there. So is this story two? Let me see, get a two in the chat. If we want to deploy this to the cloud, let me get a three. If we want to delete the story as it not being relevant to the cloud industry, cloud professionals. Um, might not be relevant. I don't know. You want to make your decision. We'll see. Two. Okay, so it's relevant. Okay, cool, 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 cool. I've been following this story, a fan of it. One, because Humane AI has been promoting the hell out of this damn gadget, this AI gadget, and I'm just like, I know, like it's not going to be what the hype is saying that it's going to be, because the AI is still new. Generation AI is still new to, like, because I understand the data mechanisms behind it to make AI does do what it does. You need a lot of power, like networking power, secure networks. Even the person using the product has to be in a very well Wi-Fi enabled environment to be able to work. So them going about out in the world and expecting to connect via crappy telecom towers nearby, like it's like basically you like it's not going to be, and it's supposed to no. It's and then even the projector, how it's supposed to project onto your hand the image of things that you want. but it didn't they didn't create it for it to fit like all kinds of hands, and it's not clear, and it's blurry, and it's small, and then there's no app, so it's not like you can take it from your hand, from the digital device from your chest, project it into your hand. It's not like you can oh, let me just put it on my phone instead and use it. You can't. There's no app for it. It's just a crappy product, and and I made this reference to SVB, and I promise I'm gonna get off this subject as soon as I finish this. I'm gonna get off my rant a little bit as soon as I make this statement. But this is why the Silicon Valley banks failed, because it took on so many tech companies that was tech hype, that had tech hype products with no real infrastructure, no real testing of their products or their services, making sure that they work in the real world, that they have real sales, right? Not just a lot of investors, but real sales, real proof of concept. It took so many of those businesses on, and most of those businesses flatline, like they didn't come to fruition. It just weren't they weren't realistic, and so therefore the bank couldn't recoup on the loans, and therefore SVBC crashed, and hundreds of thousands of people were affected by it, got laid off. The investors lost millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. And it was crazy. Actually, billions of dollars. It was like $26 billion in total loss, but it was crazy. Anyway, but yeah, so Humane ID, AI. Listen, in any tech product company, listen to your engineering staff. Don't be so forward led by these sales product engineers, managers, and sales team. Sales engineers who they're just there to sell. They're going to sell you on anything, but you have to actually deliver on the products and services that you're promising your investors and your consumers. Last but not least, last cloud tech news is Amazon exec explains grocery store tech changes, debunks media reports about human reviewers. So if you all don't know, basically, Amazon, let me see if I can read this. The company is all right. So Amazon basically is shipped. So if you all don't know, I think it was like in New York or something like that. One of the, New York or somewhere in California. One of these large metropolitan cities. They basically developed a cash registerless grocery store where you can just go and pick up the items you want, and it was all tailored to your Amazon account. As you drop them in the grocery basket, it will ring up in your Amazon account, and you would just be able to walk out the store, and everything will you'll be cashed out basically by way of the app. So there's no need for you. They're trying to eliminate the need to stop. They really want to stop a consumer, because the more it's like anything, a consumer visiting a website, anything, the more stops that you make, the more less likely you are to make a purchase. All right, so they want to make it you getting groceries as seamless as possible without you having to think, oh, maybe I can't afford that. Oh, maybe I don't need that. Oh, maybe not tonight. Maybe I can push it off for this week. No, they want you to you grab as much as you can, and then just make a decision, walk out the store, you buy it, it's yours, right? Well, this failed catastrophically. All right. The company is shifting away from just walk out, and its large grocery stores, which uses camera sensors to detect what people are putting in their carts, letting them avoid the checkout line. Instead, it's focusing on dash carts, which also lets shoppers skip the line, but currently requires scanning or manual entering items as they go. So remember, as I talked about this again, this even goes prior the humane point. When you have these C-level execs, these sales product managers who aren't tech people, who aren't talking to the engineers, who aren't in the weeds doing the work, understanding the infrastructure behind it. By the way, we have a huge infrastructure gap issue in tech and whole industry. But anyway, it's another subject. But when you're not paying attention to those things, you think because you have a cool idea, a cool front end product, you think, oh, it's going to sell, it's going to sell, it's going to sell. It's a great idea, but it has to deliver. So yeah, you because when people pick up groceries, they're not always picking it up, and the right barcode is visible to the camera to scan. Like, no, like people have to hit a boop, boop, boop. Otherwise, it's gonna pick up stuff, throw it in there, and you open yourself up to all type of scammers. You open yourself up to all type of thieves, etc. So that failed horribly, and I think that program cost them a few $1 million, but they scrapped the whole thing anyway. There was a gossip that it wasn't really auto generated purchasing that auto generate. It wasn't the process wasn't automated. They're saying like it was 1,000 employees out of India actually doing the typing in of the amount of the item, etc. So anyway, this article is trying to speak to what AWS is saying is that um, that's false. That wasn't true. But they're developing a new generation of dash carts that significantly improve the user experience, addressing some of the more cumbersome aspects of using smart carts in grocery stores. So that's to come soon. So you're going to you are eventually going to start to see the introduction of grocery stores having smart carts, which is again the more tech opportunities because more tech we have, the more technologists you need to monitor, to provide maintenance, to debug, to troubleshoot, to provide security for, to query database for, query data out of, data mining. So it's just more money opportunities for us. All right, so are we going to deploy that to the cloud? Give me a two in the chat, or are we going to control delete that news story? Give me a three, and then we're gonna move on to the subject. Appreciate that, Joe. Man, my beer getting a little warm. Hold on. Again, this is a stag beer. If you're ever interested in what a Trinidadian beer looks like, tastes like, get you a stag, man. It's actually pretty good. Like I said, it's a lager, and it's really good. I only got like four left though, so trying to spare myself. And I think my wife's grandmother, that'd be my grandmother-in-law, right? I think she gets them from she's in Canada, so I think she got her special shipment in Canada. All right, so if you're ready to get to the topic of the hour, the topic of the hour, let's get to the topic. Let me see. Yeah. You ready to get to the truth about cloud engineering? Let me get some ones in the chat. Let me get the number one. Number one in the chat. If you're ready for me to get to the topics. All right. The topic of the hour we talk about. All right. We're not gonna be on all night. Again, I really just want to get on quick and get this message out to you all, get this help to you all, get this advice out to you all because again, I just speak on things and trends that I see of how people are moving in the industry. I'm tuned into this stuff probably too much to be honest. I'm watching nearly everything move. One because I'm a workaholic. Two because I love just studying and reading, and three because people need help, right? And they need help from real practitioners in the industry to give them guidance that they need to move effectively in this industry. All right, so that's in transition to the industry and growing within the industry. All right. All right, so we got some ones. We got some ones. You ready? All right, Mercedes, you ain't tell us what you're drinking. You've been in here. Justin, you know you supposed to tell us what you're drinking, brother. All right, we got some newbies in here. All right, Calypso, you gotta tell us what you're sipping on tonight. I know I ain't the only one drinking. I already know Joe in here drinking sweet tea with some Tito's, baby. And I know Kenneth in here with that Jose Cuervo, baby. So I know he rocking. All right, but let's get to the topic. So, all right, so let's start with some don'ts. All right. So let's do this. So you want to become a cloud engineer. You got decided you want to be a cloud engineer, a cloud security engineer. All right. You want to do this cloud tech. You've been seeing Demecos posts about cloud opportunities, or you've been seeing somebody post about the cloud. Your friends are in the cloud. You know, they're making good, they have good salaries, they have good careers, love the work lifestyle, you know, they're just hearing all the perks and benefit about cloud, and you're ready to jump in. You saved up some money, you got your new laptop, you finally you got your work, you know, your job situated, and you're ready to just focus now the next couple months to boom, I'm gonna make this training to make this transition this year. All right. You don't want to wait. You know, you don't have to go to a college and enroll for 2, 4 years. You want to get this popping now. So the first thing you want to do, all right, is you want to train yourself. You want to, and let's say even those of you who've got your certifications, right? But you keep getting feedback from recruiters. Oh, you don't have enough experience. You don't have enough experience. Okay, okay. So you're like, well, I just need to get some more experience on my resume, etc. So this is going to curate all of that for those who lack experience and for those who don't know where to start training or how to start training. All right, this is specifically what this Tech at Night series is about. All right, so Oh, somebody said my bad. Mercer. Mercerie said drinking that Topo Chico. I don't know what that is, man. I know what Topo is. No, Heineken. Heineken Zero. Okay, okay. I respect the calorie watching. I hit the gym really hard today, so I'm enjoying myself. I'm spoiling myself a little bit. But hey, I respect the Heineken Zero. I like a Heineken Zero. 225 girl, what's cracking? Dr. Pepper. We get it. You at work. It's all good. All right. So here's the thing you don't want to do is you don't want to let me get my banner straight. Yeah. You don't want to you don't let me remove that. Okay. You don't there we go. All right, what's up? You don't want to add exam lab materials to your resume. This is the first mistake. Why? You like I don't did the work, it's a part. If you're studying for it, what I mean by this is if you're studying for your exam, right, for your certification, and you during that, especially if you're studying for a certification, because they're good for this in their training. They have really good training, by the way. But if you're studying for your exam and they're gonna have you do labs to make sure that you understand the terms and everything that you're reading, the content that you're reading in your study material. You don't want to add those lab materials to your resume. The reason for it is because one, it's not giving you enough robust uh action it's not giving you enough robust tech skills to summon to a project on your resume. Like if it's just teaching you how to write a bash script, or it's teaching you how to create a IAM policy, that's just an aspect of a cloud engineering function or cloud security function. It's a more so a function than an actual project or a lab. It's just in a lab environment. So don't add a function, any lab function that you do when studying for your exam to your resume. That's what you don't want to do. It's just you're not getting enough, and you can't sell it enough in interviews, making it a interesting project of explaining why you created an IAM policy, or why you stopped a server, or why you created an EC2 server. They're gonna be like, okay, you expect us to pay you $95,000? You know what I'm saying? So like, don't do that. All right. I'm gonna give you a one don't, and I'm gonna give you one do, and we're gonna till we get down the list, and there's quite a few. All right. So here's what you do want to do. You want to do lab courses and add the lab course to your resume. All right. So again, it's different from the exam lab. When you're doing that lab course, okay, you're going online. You might take something up on what's the course? Okay. Oh, the alcohol's starting to get to me. So, like when I start drinking and I start having to go back into my brain to start to try to pull reference Pluralsight. That's what it is. So if you go to like a website Pluralsight and you want to do a lab on full Pluralsight, it's a full lab. Like most of the whole course is a lab. It's telling you how is it now. It's providing you the environment. It's providing you probably with the virtual box and everything like that. But in order to complete the lab, you got to complete all the functions within the lab, and the whole lab may be to teach you um, how to create a CI/CD pipeline. It might be teaching you how to create a web app. It might teach you how to create an API, a web, create an API. Well, I don't want to use that. I want to say API server, but teach you how to create a an environment, production environment, and then create a dev environment, then create a stage environment. It may teach you these different things, like you're getting these are real skills because they require multiple skills to complete a project, not just one skill that you will be getting out of an exam lab itself. The whole course is a lab. All right, so you're getting a lot of skills you're using probably programming skills you're getting from it. You're getting more cloud skills. You're getting security skills. You're getting more um, um, uh, you're getting Active Directory skills. You're getting a plethora of skills, and these are all skills you get to add to your resume as under your project. Like, see how it's building up versus just doing one lab material exam and trying to put them on your resume versus a bulk load of skills you got from one lab. So do the lab courses and add those to your resume. All right. Does that make sense to y'all? I know it might got a little tricky, a little furry to y'all. Again, keep in mind I'm drinking, so sometimes my mind, don't bring everything to my synapses aren't firing that fast. All right. Just let me know if that made sense to y'all. Do do lab courses and add lab courses to your resume. Do not do exam labs and add the exam lab to your resume. Do the exam lab, like do it as if it's a part of your training for your exam, but don't add that to your resume. But add the lab course, the big boy, to your resume. Man, congrats, BMF. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Woo, that one. You know what's funny? I'm studying for that AZ 104 now. Who did you use? You used John? I know you used John Sevilla stuff. But what did you use to study for that? Put that in the chat so to help other people who want to get their 105. Congratulations. That's a big boy cert. If you follow my channel, I've always said you want to go for associate level certifications. All right. If you're pressed to really try to make the transition into a cloud role, get the associate level certification. Doesn't have to be 104, but it needs to be associate level certification. No fundamentals. All right. All right. Congratulations, man. That's a big accomplishment, man. Pat yourself on the back. Take a week or two to break before you hop into your next round of studies. Add it to your resume. You know what I'm saying? Get your badge. Post about your experience on LinkedIn. That's more content. That's more visibility in the algorithms to be seen by recruiters and hiring managers and other people who know of opportunities. Great job, BMF. Great, 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 man. I love to see that. All right. Guided labs teach you how to follow instruction. Yes, yes. Cloud Guru is it exactly. Exactly. They do. They do. They do. And that's the purpose of a lab. And then, and if you watched one of my other previous tech nights, I talked about that difference between a lab and a project. Projects, you set the whole environment up yourself. The lab is they curate the environment for you. So the labs are still valuable. Don't ever discount that, because here's why. And about most of the time when you walk into a tech company, you get a tech role, you're not creating the entire environment by yourself from scratch. In most cases, unless you're going to come in as a SME or they're just making a migration to the cloud, need your assistance, etc. But in most cases, the whole environment is set up. So you're like in a lab environment in your actual role anyway, but you just need to be able to reference resources within that environment, to be able to build or complete whatever task they have assigned to you. So yeah, just don't get addicted to doing guided labs. You knew that at some point you need to grow up and be a big boy. You need to put on some big boy britches, be able to crack a beer open by yourself, all right, and do some projects. But you're just getting in there, you're just learning. You want to labs are great for when you don't really know what you're doing at all, and you want to just mess around without it costing. You know, labs are great because you can only screw up but so much because the environment is curated. All right, so the next one. All right, so the next one. And this is even relevant to mine or whoever. I'm not biased at all. You all know I offer cloud training. I got my boot camp going. If you're interested in that, bcloudengineers.com. It's always there, baby. But so here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to take a boot camp or training, any kind of technical training, that doesn't offer assistance in completing projects. All right. I've even experienced this in myself during my formative years of coming up in the industry. I've taken on various trainings and it's all automated, the whole entire thing. And there's no assistance. There's little to no assistance. I've even heard it from some of my students who told me about other camps that they've joined and trainings they joined. That's way less interactive than mine, because you all know that mine are, yes, you're gonna watch videos on how to do the projects or whatever. You're gonna have walkthroughs, but I'm always there offering complete assistance like every day, like an ungodly amount of hours dedicated to assisting on projects. But yeah, so don't take any training or boot camp before you sign up for it. Ask, what is the support like in completing these projects? Because you're going to find out that that person running that boot camp, running that training, how well they really know their tech stuff, based on how much they interact with you all in completing the projects. Because if they're not hands on and helping you troubleshoot your way through the projects, then they really don't even know the cloud stuff. They don't even really know the technical stuff as much as they probably marketed and sold as. And if they don't really know the tech stack that much, then chances are they probably don't really know the ins and out of how to help you actually. Um, Even if that training is actually going to help you, grow your technical career. Like it's something that you should even be doing. So that's what you don't want to do. You don't want to take a boot camp or training that doesn't offer assistance in completing projects. You need to make sure that they're going to have someone there that's going to be helpful in helping you along the way and complete these projects. Or when especially when you get stuck in these projects. Again, you don't want them to spoonful and do it for you, but you need to be able to have that assistance, because you're just going to get stuck. That's just a matter of doing any technology. You're going to get stuck, and you need to be able to get from help in an adequate manner and time. You don't want to have to wait days or weeks before you can get a response about helping you get unstuck. So yeah, and that's how you kind of test the technical chops of the training, the organization that's providing the training. So my students know all about that. We work, baby. We work. All right. So here's what you do want to do. You want to replicate projects that you find on YouTube, Medium, or LinkedIn. Now, even some of my students, were kind of a little bit drawn back initially in my camp about this. It was like, will I get in trouble, or is this really going to help me replicate? Yes. You're not replicating projects that you find online anywhere is what all of us tech professionals do at some point in time. We've all done it. We all do it because that's how you actually get good at it. Why? Because and all of us who replicate these projects run into different bugs. Why? Because we all have different issues come up on our PCs, different browsers, different versions of browsers, different laptops, different types of laptops, different environments that present all kind of different bugs. All right. But all of that is good because it adds to your skill in the troubleshooting. See, doing the projects is one thing. Anybody can follow A to Z how to do a project. It's can you replicate that project, all right, and get through the bugs. That's going to test what kind of tech professional you are, all right. So replicate, have no issue at all replicating projects, even when we're working on in the actual job in the actual field in roles when we have a big project we're working on, a big migration task that we're coming on. Most of us engineers, if we haven't done it before, or even we've done it in the past and forgot about it because we forget. We're human. Um, we'll go back and try to replicate it in our home labs at work or somewhere that we found somebody that did something similar online. We'll replicate aspects of their projects just so we can get good enough to come back to work to be able to present our argument of what changes we need to make to the project we're making up. So that's it's very normal in this industry to replicate products that you find on YouTube or you find on media. All right. So that's what you do want to do. All right. Like don't reinvent the wheel. You don't need to reinvent the cloud. All right. If you want to reinvent the cloud as a personal project, that's fine. Then go forward. But you don't have to at all, like by a long shot, like most people don't. All right. Work with that's already there because when you're working on a project at work and you're working to build on or you're even working to maintain some cloud resources that's running or whatever, you have some apps running on those resources and and engineers who built those apps or who built that infrastructure isn't there anymore. You got to go to their notes and replicate what it is that they did to replicate the resources or the infrastructure to support the apps anyway. So it's the same process. It's the same thing. So it's a thing. Like it's normal. It's like learning how to play basketball. You're not gonna create your own form. You're gonna watch shooting videos of how great shooters like Steph Curry or Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese or whoever, and watch their form and try to replicate their form till you get your own. That's a great form. A good enough form. So that's what you do want to do. All right. Let me give you another don't do. Here's a big one. And this is the big is, and I'm gonna go to the comments after this. So post your questions. Um, let me see. Gotta put my cues up as I go through these so that y'all know to ask questions. All right. A don't. Here's what you don't want to do. Don't do projects without a role in mind. Again, you don't want to be doing cloud projects just for the sake of doing cloud projects. If you want to be a security engineer, you need to be doing cloud security relevant projects. All right. And especially if you want to focus on being good at one platform like Google Cloud or Azure Cloud or AWS, you need to be doing security cloud projects tailored to that environment. So dealing with how to set up a firewall, a WAF in Azure, or how to set up various IM policies, conditional policies versus inline policies versus customer managed policies in AWS. Like you need to be doing thinking. Oh, you need to be doing everything needs to be like all your efforts need to make sense. Like you need to be working towards a specific cause. All right. So don't do projects without a role, a type of tech role that you have in mind. Everything, all your training needs to be focused on. I want this kind of role. Now, you might not even start off or get your big shot or your next role might not be that specific role, but because you gain so many skills and some level of expertise or professionalism in this specific aspect of cloud, they want to hire you anyway because they've seen how you learn. You've self-taught yourself to be really good at this area, then of course it can translate to this area. And the knowledge from that area may lean on responsibilities in another area. So if you're good at cloud security, then obviously they might hire you more likely to hire you as an IM engineer because it's within cloud security. They might hire you for doing some cloud networking because they, again, you know what I'm saying? Like it may like do work towards a specific role. All right. And don't worry about working yourself too specialized to where you ignore other opportunities. You don't have no opportunities. All right, to worry about. You need to be creating your own opportunity by focusing on a lane of cloud that you want to specifically get really good at. And then the offers are going to come. The opportunity is going to come. All right. In all different types of realms and ways. So that's what you don't want to do. You don't want to do projects without a role in mind. All right. So here's what you do want to do. You want to let me see which one can be counter to that. Let's see. Mm, You do want to, uh, yeah, I'll say this. Yeah, you do. Yeah, I'll say this. All right, you do want to volunteer helping at local tech groups on who are trying to build an app. You know, groups, tech companies. They're always at meetups and things like that, and they're looking for people to just help them build an app. You know, they're specifically they're looking for some cloud engineers or aspiring cloud engineers to help them build an app. And you can just say, "Hey, I'll offer my service for you," and in exchange, that's experience you get to add to your resume for working for an actual company. And on top of that, they maybe can do some write up on you or some write up about you or include you you know, in the acknowledgement of helping them build their app, which is great for you, or it may even lead to a direct hiring opportunity. So that's another because I get that question all the time. Well, where do I find projects? And I always give plethora of places to find it, but definitely one of the most overlooked places is just volunteering to help your local tech companies. Like every city has some type of tech company that's involved that's trying to get their startup off or whatever in their area. And you can just volunteer. You don't even have to physically be there sometimes. A lot of times they have virtual meetups or whatever. And even if they don't say, hey, we're looking for help, ask them, hey, do you all need help doing X, Y, and Z? I've been studying for this, da 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 da, and I would love to assist you all in this way. And they might even not have you do specific cloud tasks. They might have you do something that's related more towards a full stack task, but that's still tech experience that you're gaining working for an actual company. Again, it's reciprocated because you get to add it to your resume and you get actual a snippet of looking on the other side of tech on what tech companies are having engineers actually do. So if I'm making sense to you, if these do's and do nots when it comes to training are helping you all, let me see some ones in the chat. Give me some number ones in the chat. All right. Let's get back to answer some of these questions. Let's see. Oh, yeah, it's BMF. Are they in the labs or 104? Let's see. Pretty good play right now. All right. Mercy said, I got I got AWS practice 2 weeks ago and working on my SSA. Good, good. Got the practitioner cert. Good. Congratulations. Working on your SAA. Good. Trying out, learn Kentrail. Yeah, Kentrail. He's the man. Along with Cloud Guru. Yeah, yeah. Dope, 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 dope. Let me see if I can answer one of these questions that came in earlier. Somebody asked. Yeah, Kenneth asked, is it worth getting an entry level cloud cert? AZ9100. Everybody in this chat can probably answer that question because I've said it repeatedly. Um, no, it's not. Generally, it's not worth it. Especially if you're trying to, you need to get a job. Like you want to get a job and make that. You need to make that transition this year. It's a no. It's not worth it. All right. The industry has kind of moved ahead from like foundational certifications for engineering roles. Now, if you're in sales, absolutely, go ahead and go for it. If you're in a non-technical role, go for it. If you're a young kid or you got a kid that's in college or what have you, you're trying to get some certs, go for it. It's great introductory to um cloud training. Well, yeah, to learning about the cloud, specifically Azure. Now, and the only thing is because it's so many others associate level search that are just worth your time, more worth your time and have a bigger outcome than the fundamental search. If you're trying to get in this to get a better job or get, a better work lifestyle, what have you, um, that costs just about the same. So maybe $50 more. That it will cover a lot of the foundational aspects anyway in its associate level training, you know. And plus, a lot of this at this point, these fundamental certs, you can practically gain all that fundamental knowledge by watching a couple hours, probably like six, probably no more than 6 hours of YouTube videos, and boom, you got you learned all the foundational knowledge about that cloud. All right, but the associate levels where you actually gotta start you start to become some type of expert at knowing the aspect of cloud. All right. So hopefully that answers your question. Is it worth it? No. It's just waste your time. It's not at this point, no. Unless again, for the other reasons I mentioned. You're in sales, you're a young kid, and or you somebody that just got time. Like you're not pressed to make a career change this year, and you want to gradually baby step your way in. That's fine. All right. Somebody else asked a question. Let me see. NBA ain't see you. You was the first one in the chat. Now you disappeared on me. Um, Cloud Guru is clutch. Love them. Yep. Um, Cloud Guru is the OGs. Let's see. Oh, all right. So Trench, what's happening, Trench? Tress. You gotta help me pronounce that, brother. But you ain't tell us what you're drinking. You ain't read the rules. Gotta tell us what you're drinking first before you ask us, what you're thinking. I'm drinking Stag, by the way. Stag is a Trinidadian beer. It's really, really good. So it's actually I will put it up there with uh Red Stripe, my opinion. Mm, I know Red Stripe is Jamaican, but. Um, so place to find these groups, again, you can Google. These meetups are all available online. Where you can find them at, like just live if you live in a city like Orlando, you can type in Orlando tech meetups, um, Orlando tech groups, and you can and you get in those involved in those circles, and you ask, well, who has a tech company? And then you find out who the people are that have tech companies. Well, what kind of help do you all are you all looking for that I can help with? And you tell them the skills or the interests that you have or what you're studying for, and see if they can find a place for you to help out. Boom. You don't found yourself a group. It's really that simple. Just got to do the work, baby. Just got to do the work. It's all good, Trent. It's all good, baby. Don't be sorry. Be careful. If you know who said that, kudos. I'm gonna take a shot for you. I'm gonna take a shot of beer for you if you know who said that. Don't be sorry. Be careful. Mm. Oh, that man said Trish, and I apologize if you're a woman, because I keep saying man, but I'm assuming Trish is a male name. No, no. But listening while grocery shopping, that's what I'm talking about, baby. That's what I respect that. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get your learning in while doing your choice. It's all about making time, baby. We all got the time. It's just are you willing to make it, baby? Are you willing to make it? What's happening, Blomby? What's happening, Brevin? Oh, you just sipping on that Guinness? My God, that's one. We got some beer sippers tonight. All right, all right, Jose. You the only one on that Tito's. You the only one on that hard liquor tonight. Everybody else, and you and somebody else on that Jose Cuervo, Ken, I think Kenneth, but the rest of us on beers tonight. I feel y'all. It's that type of day. All right, so let me get to the rest of it. If you're ready for the rest of my do's and don't do's for tech, cloud tech training, let me see some ones in the chat. Put the ones up, baby. So all participation. The more y'all participate, baby, the more I give, baby. That's what it's about, baby. Give and take, baby. Give and take, baby. Let's see. Let's see some ones. Let's see some ones. Mm. My favorite. All right. So Joe asked, why isn't the cloud plus cert not recognized like AWS as Azure? Because CompTIA doesn't have a cloud. At least they haven't built a popular cloud that a lot of corporations and companies are using. So yeah, I wouldn't be trying to learn squat from CompTIA, but Security Plus. Uh, what's the other one? Security Plus, the pen test certification, and there's one more off the top of my head, but the rest of them trash. A plus trash. You better do. Maybe Net Plus too. I'll throw Net Plus in there. Net Plus, Security Plus, and pen testing. And then there's one more, but no, don't study. If the cloud provide, if they're not providing the cloud, if a certification industry isn't doesn't have a cloud platform, no, because nobody's using their product. So you got to think about it. AWS and Azure and Google Cloud. The reason that they're offering these certifications is because hundreds of thousands of companies are using their cloud platform. So, of course, if they tell a company, well, these individuals have qualified by being engineers in our cloud platform, like expertise, showing expertise in these various aspects of cloud, of course, these companies are going to pay attention, like, that's what we need to hire. Yeah, that's what we need to interview. Yeah. So that's how that works. That's why CompTIA isn't respected or recognized. All right. So let's get back to it. Do's and don't do's. All right. So let's go to a don't. This is a big one. This gets missed so often. And I've even made it when I first started. I even made this mistake, especially on LinkedIn, because I just didn't know. But completing projects and not documenting them, completing projects and not documenting them. You don't want to do that. One, you don't have a proof of concept. Two, you're going to forget. All right. Even if you remember the gist of what you did, like you can point to the resources and software tools you utilize. You're going to forget the different command lines. Like you're just going to forget stuff, you know. And then last, how you going to add it to your resume if you didn't document anything? How? Just gonna go off the top of your head. You might not be accurate, and then some a-hole will come along and say, "Well, that doesn't work because that's not how it computes," and blow your whole project up, blow your whole documented project up because you didn't document it the first time. So document your project, people. Don't do yeah, don't is not is completing your projects and not documenting. Like you've thrown so much potential out. Like so nobody knows you're great. Nobody's seen you make 100 three pointers. It's like not filming yourself in the gym, working hard. Nobody knows. It's like having a great game, a real basketball game, and it wasn't recorded. Nobody knows. Nobody's gonna believe you, or it's gonna be a hard sell. You just make work harder for yourself and making that transition over, and being respected in this industry. Like complete your projects and not document them. Don't do that. A do. All right. Here's another one. Here's another tip. Here's a do. Ask, and this gets overlooked as well because again, people ask, well, where do I find projects at? Well, how do I get the training? Da, 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 da. Well, how do I get experience on my resume? Again, this is what all these do's and don't do's are for, by the way. But anyway, especially this one. Ask how to be involved in tech projects at work with the tech staff. Like even if you're working in, and if you're working in the project management side, you're working on the customer success side, You're not involved in any tech, but your company has a tech staff, has a technology department. Ask to be involved in the projects that the tech staff is working on, or even offer to implement a cloud offering for tech stacks at work. So even if they reject you and say, "No, we don't need any help," or they say, "Nah, we're good," uh, for proprietary reasons, we can't let you see the tech stuff, whatever. Offer to be like, well, I know how we use a lot of users in this section. I know how to I can maybe help offload some of our users from our that this software that we're paying a lot of money for, and offload some of those users into Azure AD. Like, you have to be creative in implement like how you can make changes to their tech infrastructure that based on the various cloud offerings, pass, IaaS, fast, whatever. Like, be innovative, be creative. But in most cases, if you approach your tech team, and even if they're not working on a project, whatever, in most cases, one of the tech persons are working on a personal project at home, and they still need help. Offer to help. Like, that's an easy win for you. Boom. You got your tech experience right there at your job. You never know. Even if you work at a warehouse, your warehouse has a technology department somewhere. Get their number, call them, or get their email, reach out to them, say, hey, I'm trying to scale up, get some tech skills, some tech chops, some tech experience, blah, 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 blah. Is there any way I can help you all work on a project? No matter how small or how big, I can be a contributing member. Boom. You got experience on your resume under a real company. Boom. Just like that. So that's a do. All right, another don't. Here's a big one. And this is just bad engineering and just bad people skills, bad social skills. Don't replicate. And I want to say that also I would speak to that getting involved on the tech side. That's how the IM engineer Ryan was right, who we did Tech at Night with last week, talked about how he made his come up. Like, he just started doing tech, like getting involved on tech projects at his job. He was on the QA engineering side, which wasn't tech at all, and he started helping out that with the desk people, writing scripts for them. Like, boom, and they offer him a position as tech support. Boom. It's that simple. Like, be creative, be innovative. All right, so here's a don't do. Don't replicate projects and not give the originator their credit. Because they find out that you did their project and you didn't get them their credit, and you made it seem like you created this project all out your own imagination. And so, like, it's okay that they love that people replicate their project. Why do you think when people post their projects online, especially like on GitHub, on Medium or LinkedIn, whatever, why do you think they have, or even YouTube? Why do you think they give you all the access links to their repos to duplicate their project? Because they want you to replicate the project. But if you don't give them that credit, that's just bad engineering. That's just poor social skills. Like, it's just bad. You know what I'm saying? Give the person who created the project originally their credit, and just say you recreated the project. You replicated the project. And your own, and you put your own twist on it or whatever. Even if you didn't put a twist on it. But just give the originator of where you found the credit, where you found the project from, so that people know where to be able to source the original project, so that they can learn and replicate projects from it as well. So always give credit to the original originator of the project. All right, especially in your documentation, more so in your documentations. Not saying you got to go around gloating and promoting, hey, I replicated such and such project. Like, it don't have to be a big thing, but just simple acknowledgement. You see that all the time in Medium blogs. Like, they always accredit who they got the project from, or the project idea from, or parts of the project from. Like, that's big in the tech community. Because we gotta look after each other. All right, here's a do. Here's a do. Talk about your journey of the project on your social media. All right. Don't talk about the journey when it's done. Don't talk about the journey when it's done. Don't talk about the project when it's done. Talk about that's because it's not exciting. People want to see you watch a movie not to watch the end. Like, you watch a movie to watch the whole thing, the highs, the lows, the peaks, the valleys, the exciting parts, the calm parts, the romantic scenes. Like, you want all that. And people do the same thing in watching your social media. They want to see you get stuck on your projects. They want to see how you got unstuck. They want to see the parts you love. They want to see the parts you don't like. They want to see the tough moments. They want to see the breakthroughs, and that's how you build followers. That's how you build people who are drawn to your commitment. That's how you gain more visibility again from hiring managers and recruiters. All right. So, um, talk about your journey of your project on your social media. Don't wait until you're done with the project and post it in there. I'm done. I'm all of a sudden they're like, where you come from? Who are you? Everybody going to ignore you. But if somebody's just been sitting there, and I mentioned that because even Mercedes, who was a Splunk engineer that I had did the tech at night with, and more so tech at lunch, but we did the tech at night with months ago. Shout out to her, man. Mercedes, she's just a beast. I used to sit there and just watch her LinkedIn day in and day out of her working through Splunk projects before she became a Splunk engineer, like before Splunk hired her. Before even she became a DevOps engineer. Like, she used to just talk about a project that she was working on, get stuck and post the code and post like, people love you never know who's watching. And then by the time you get to the end of your project, somebody's waiting for you to get done so they can be like, did you add your resume? Whatever. I would love to refer you to somebody. Da, 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 da. Boom. You create yourself an opportunity by just sharing what you're working on, just sharing your journey. People love a good and it adds to a good story. And people love a good story, especially during the interview rounds, baby. They love a good story, baby. All right. Um, So that was a make sure I don't let me see. All right, that was a do, and let me see. All right, oh, and I'm gonna do a don't before I get back to the questions. So don't, here's a don't. And this I'm a big stickler for this, and I'm gonna stand on this. I don't care who coming for me. Don't intern anywhere for free longer than 2 to 3 months. Or work intern anywhere for free when you got bills to pay. When you got bills to pay and you need a job, like phone about to get cut off, water about to get cut off, baby need diapers. Like, nah, you ain't got time to be trying to intern somewhere for free. No, like I get the volunteer thing. You volunteer for a couple months. You're not volunteering forever or for a whole year, 6 months, or interning for 6 months or whatever. And they say, well, we might hire you. No, because we seen Google lay off their interns. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's a waste. It's not the best use of time. I'm not saying it's a waste of time. It's just not the best. With so many valuable options of things to do that are more productive towards your goal, why do the least valuable things? That's what I'm all about. Especially as adults when we are grown out here, because I'm mostly speaking to the crowd that's about 25 and up, 25 to about 45, maybe 56, because that's my demo, right? Um, I'm all about optimizing your time because we got real bills to pay, we got real goals to get, we got places to go, we got things to invest in, etc. So we need to be doing everything that's going to make sense as soon as possible. So yeah, don't intern anywhere for free longer than 2 to 3 months. They're talking about, oh, you can intern here with the possibility of getting hired for 6 months. No, if you got 2, 3, and that's only if you got 2, 3 months to spare. If you don't got 2, 3 months to spare, you need to be spending your time working a full-time job and then studying that night. Then that's what you need to be doing, studying that night or finding a place you can volunteer, during a night shift or around your work hours. But dedicating half a percentage of your work hours towards interning, especially for longer than 2 to 3 months. And 2, 3 months is me being generous. I really wanted to say 1 month, but I get how some of y'all are. So 2 to 3 months, anywhere intern more than 2, 3 months? No. I don't care if it's Disney giving you an internship. I don't care if it's Google themselves. They're gonna promise you the world. No. All right. No, no, no. All right. Plus, you can't trust these big tech companies. So don't do that. All right. So let's get back to the questions. Let's get back to the question before I get to my last don't do and do. Yeah, to see it. Yeah, Louis. Yeah, I guess you were paying attention to that LinkedIn post I put up. But yeah, CYSA plus. Yeah, that's worth your time, especially if you want to do security. You want to do any type of cloud security, cybersecurity. That CYSA is still pretty valuable. It's very valuable actually. So that's the only comp to you. But that's it. CYSA plus, Net plus, Security plus, and pen testing. But even the net, I would even ignore the net plus if you're gonna just go get the CCNA. I would say just get. I literally just reviewed the resume today because I'm helping a friend of mine's out for a recent college student. that just graduate college, and they got their CCNA. They don't have a Net Plus. They don't have a A plus or Net Plus. You can study directly for in networking and study for the CCNA without having studied for Net Plus A plus. So I recommend the CCNA, and that's Cisco. That's not even CompTIA over the Net Plus. But like I said, we talking about CompTIA search that's worth it. Those are the four. But anything outside of that, Cloud Plus, you better run. All right, you better not get it. I don't care. I don't care if they give it away for free. I was lucky that my company offers a mentorship program. Beautiful, beautiful. That's a look at you. Come on, BML. Come on, talk about baby. As a cloud mentor, baby. That's beautiful. Give back, man. That's why I always say, this is a community, not just the breakthrough crew here at BCE, but the tech community at large. You got to help others, man, because I promise you, you never know where people going to end up at. You never know, man. Especially if they're hungry, they're showing that they're hungry and they want to learn and they're putting in the sweat equity and they're asking quality questions and they're contributing to you, in ways that are helping you. Give back, man. Give back. I give back as much as I can. This is a part of my give back in action. But yeah, love to hear that, brother. For real. Congrats to you, man. You got your AZ 104, you mentoring in cloud. You a beast, man. Kudos to you for real, for real. All right. Is Google AI Cloud Engineer a good cert? I didn't even know Google had a AI cloud. They have Google has a cloud engineer cert, and I know Google has a AI fundamental certification, but I didn't know they had a combo, to be honest. But if I would get that, I don't know. I have to look into it, to be honest. I don't know off the rip. And I say that because, excuse me, unless I would if Google AI Cloud Engineer is helping you create, is showing you how to be a person that can create cloud environments to support AI products, then I would give it. And it's less than $150. I would say it's worth it if it's less than $150. Um, if it's for that reason. But if it's not, if it's just telling you how to construct AI products in a Google environment, mm, because time is better spent just becoming a data engineer or or just learning AI, becoming an AI engineer. Like that would be the discipline, and then learning cloud separately, becoming a cloud engineer. So if it's not doing you, because you're not getting enough. I know you're not going to get enough out of the training for that because those two disciplines are so strong on their own independently and have so much depth of knowledge. I just don't see a combo being less than 150. And then even our employers even looking for it, like type Google AI cloud engineer in Indeed or any job site and see if employers are actually looking for it. That's also a testament if a service worth it or not. Who's looking for it? Who's paying you to pay for your cert? All right. Google Cloud build skills boost. Google Cloud skills boost. Yes, great courses to take on Google Cloud for a myriad of architecture. They have all types of security, DevOps. They got all types of, yeah, and that falls in line with what I said earlier. One of the dues with on taking lab courses because those Google Cloud skills are considered lab courses. You can add those to your resume. I remember I was working for a healthcare company, telehealth. Oh, no, it was a healthcare software company as an architect, and they were Google Cloud gave us free cloud. Actually, I don't even. I think yeah, they gave us free at one time. They gave us free skills boost membership, and I utilized that. And because I utilized it at work, we were Google Cloud shop, so at work, so it helped me get through a lot of my compute tasks at work. So Google Cloud skills are great, and you can again add that to your resume. Add those labs to your resume as well. So yeah, highly recommend Google Cloud Skills Boost. Um, I probably think Google Cloud has the second best training, other than Azure, as far as like training you up for certs and giving you skills. You know, those two is just pure automation, like without user interaction. Those are probably the two best because they're well documented and it's more accurate of what you'll face in the actual industry in the environment. So And it's just again well documented. All right, so 225 girl said I almost got hired, but I don't have any certs for the position I applied for. And they couldn't hire me. Mm, mm, mm. Now, this goes to first off, congrats to you for even getting that far. For them, first off, congrats to you for the recruiter finding you, and somebody interviewing you and wanting to hire you, saying you probably had all the knowledge and a lot of the skill, but just because of the technicality of you don't have that cert, we can't hire you. Now, this speaks to I did this video early. It's probably a video. I don't even think it's a tech at night. Probably one of my YouTube channel, one of the videos where I talked about why our cloud search valuable. People think it's a lot of naysayers. In fact, I was um, talking with a guy today on LinkedIn about it. But a lot of just grumpy people, especially just grumpy, old school, get off my lawn tech people who say, "Oh, cloud search doesn't mean you're an expert in anything." No, as I always say, your cloud certifications aren't to give you the actual skill. What the cloud certifications are, because you do have to have some type of skill to pass these exams. By the way, they're not walking the parts by far. Especially if you like, you're not like it's not like you're out here using like little cheat books, hack books, whatever they call them, to pass these exams. These exams are difficult. Like they're not a walk in the park. You gotta know something to get an associate level certification. But anyway, um, cloud skills are to qualify you. That's what these certifications are. Cloud certifications are to qualify you. That's what they're for. All right. Because like 225 girl said, I remember my first cloud engineering role. I wouldn't have got that job if I didn't have my practitioner cert back in 2019. I wouldn't have got that job. And the reason I found out is because how the company is this is all a business, baby. The company promotes to their clients that all of their engineers are industry trained and certified, cloud industry trained and certified. And they show proof of that by way of their certifications. So, in case any of the clients wanted to audit or compliance, the industry wanted to audit the company, they have to make sure every employee has a cloud certification. So if you don't, then you're not in compliance. All right. Ruins your credibility, might ruin the company's ability for gaining the compliance industry level certification. And then clients talk to each other. So yeah, that's why these certifications are important. They're critical. All right. Not in proving that you have skills, but in qualifying you to obtain roles and opportunities. That's more so what it's for. And in lieu of that, you do gain skills while completing these exams and training for these exams. Why? Because the cloud tech big on Demecos always tell you it's clouds, it's certifications and projects, not just certs, not just projects. Oh, it's free? Yeah. Send me a link, man. I'll take a look at it. But if it's free, why not? If it's free, I say go for it. Depending on how long it is. If it's something that's like a 16-hour course you can go through that Google offers, why not? 32 hours even. Go for it. It's what? It's about 2 weeks of work. You know. Being that you got a job and stuff like that. But go for it. But send me a link. I would like to look more into it. See what it's about. He's referring to that Google AI cloud search. All right, so if you're ready for my last do and don't do, put a one in the chat. Let me see a one in the chat. Allison, when will the market return back to normal? Never. That's my answer. There's never going to be a normal market. Sorry. Um. Uh. Because you don't want it to be normal because what happens when the market was normal? You know, we were locked in. We were locked in due to C-19, so it was like there was abundance of money flowing everywhere. But now everything's right sized and companies get like your opportunity, like the opportunities out here is still like not unlimited, but that like it's a plethora of opportunities out here. But if you only pay attention to the big news and you only pay attention to those who are uh, fear mongering, you're gonna think, oh, you're gonna talk yourself out of pursuing these opportunities. So the the normalcy, you don't want it to be normal. You want to become better. You want to become more skilled. That's what you want to do. All right. Because you rise to the opportunities. You don't want the opportunity to come down to you because if they have to come down to you, then the offerings of those opportunities, the lucrativeness of those opportunities also decline. And we just saw Netflix had I didn't even tell you that, but yeah, Netflix, and I posted it on my stories. If you follow me on Cloud Tech Big Unk on Twitter, or if you follow me on Instagram, post my stories every day. Um, you see, I posted Netflix was hiring for a cloud network engineer, and most people were afraid of it because they were offering anywhere. The salary range was from 200,000 to $700,000. All right, and most people was, oh, I never qualified. They probably asked for some outrageous qualification. No, they wanted 2 to 4 years of cloud networking experience. 2 to 4 years. If you go back to normal for a cloud engineer, they a year, 3 year, 2, 3 years ago, they probably would have paid you like maybe 94, maybe at the top 150 since it's a big tech, but they paying 200 to 700 for a cloud network engineer role with only 2 to 4 years of experience. And so you know what that means? You ain't really even got to have a full 2 years. You just need to know cloud networking and know networking. If you got your CCNA, you damn near already in the door. They didn't even qualify. They didn't even. They definitely didn't on the job ad. Didn't even say that you needed require that you have a degree or even require that you have a certification. These are opportunities out here, but when you talk yourself out of it because you just follow only the big news headlines, red headlines, and you follow the fear mongering influencers, boom, blew your opportunities. All right. All right. All right. Do you think AZ alone is enough for a job outside of projects? Yes. If you got your projects and you got the AZ 104, absolutely. Like just go look on Indeed or type Google, type Azure 104 certification jobs. That answer your question. Are there employers looking for it? Yes or no? So yeah, absolutely. That 104 is big. You'll be a cloud administrator. You can go after cloud admin roles. You can go after our type of cloud engineering roles. Like you're an overseer of the Azure cloud. And I said this before, Azure is really where it's at. Like for the past 2.5 years, Azure has been consistently hot as far as the job market for cloud roles. It's the most consistent because there's not that many people out there who know Azure. Like, and people out there who just refuse to learn Azure. I get bound every day. I get Azure at least every day. If it's not every day, every other day. I just interviewed for Azure. Azure. I'm getting so many opportunities for Azure, and I'm not an Azure first guy. I'm an AWS first guy, and I'm really a GCP second guy, and then I'm a thirdly Azure guy. But I've worked in all three. For the same duration of time, just about. So yeah, that AZ when I don't have a 104. I only have the fundamental certification, but I also got experience because I've been doing it. So those are basically my experience are my projects, basically. But yeah, that 104 is a big boy. That's a big boy. All right, so Mercer said he's ready for the one. So let me give you out the last do and don't do that I'm answer. Two more tech questions, then I'm logging out. All right. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and don't forget. Oh, we're doing a. Let me put this in the chat too. For our boot camp, our tech boot camp, cloud training, boot camp for cloud security engineers and uh, cloud engineers. If you use that code that I just put in the chat, you get 10% off. You get 10% off on your boot camp. Boot camp starts June 1st to July 1st. So it's 5 weeks of training. And it's amazing. So the reviews are up. I put reviews in my YouTube. It's there of past students that we work with. Some of our students got jobs, that I work with. Um, take our training. It's not just me. I have Jennifer Smith, AWS cloud architect, security architect. She's got one of the trainers as well. I have Tiffany Hall, who's our career technical resume expert. She does all our resumes, does all the LinkedIn revamps, but you get all this training and more Um, plus you do projects the whole time, baby, in our boot camp because we don't play, baby. We train you up to be an A1 professional, baby. So sign up again, 10% off if you use that code. I think it's only good till next week. I think next week that code ends. So take advantage of it. But all right, so let me get back to do one, the last do and the last don't. So the last don't is and this is a big one. This has cost me. I remember one time. I'll tell a story after, but um one thing you don't want to do is leave cloud resources running during your projects while you're training. When you're done with the project for the day, if you, especially if you haven't studied the free tier model to make sure the resources are within free tier or free tier up until a certain point of consumption, cut them things off. Stop them. Stop the EC2s. Stop your VMs. All right. You can leave your security groups up running, because they don't really charge you. Because you don't have any traffic going through them anyway. You can leave your VNet up or your VPC up. Again, you don't have any real traffic going through it. But everything else, terminate your resources that day. And again, if you did your documentation correctly, you can replicate it and do the same thing the next day or the next time you pick up that project. But stop leaving your cloud resources running while training yourself through your projects. All right. It will bite you in the butt. And these folks are not playing about getting their money. All right. I remember one time, one of my first times I was self-training myself on doing an AWS project. And man, I must have left these resources running for like probably 3 to 4 months. And I just so happened I got an email because I set up my billing alerts, but I didn't set up my billing alerts properly to notify me when I start got charged. Anyway, again, learning lesson. Anyway, I set up I don't even think I set up a billing alert actually. I just got notified that the payment a payment came through, and maybe I set up a billing alert. I can't think of it. But anyway, a payment came through for like $294. Boy, you talking about a guy at the time who was doing Uber, sleeping on my mom's couch, can't afford nothing to nothing. $34 was a stretch for me. All right. Having $20 at a time meant that I was doing all right. I had a good week. If I had $37 in my bank account by the end of the week, I had a good week. Like this how broke I was. All right. Um, and when that thing, oh, it sent me into the negative. Boy, $294. Boy, I was on AWS customer line so fast, bud. I was like, I didn't mean to leave. I don't know what happened. What those left those up. I don't know who did it. Da, 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 da. I was like, I forgot even what excuse I came up with, but I was just like, yeah, I didn't know, I didn't mean to. And this was, AWS was still early. But yeah, I was like, I didn't mean to. Da, 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 da. I didn't know it was still running. I thought I canceled the account. Da, da, da. I said, just cancel the whole account and refund me. So at the time they had a policy where they had a forgiveness policy, almost like a bank. They'll forgive you one time for charges, and they just forgave me for my charges, but I had to close my whole entire account. So then I was nervous because I was like, dang, so that mean I can't open up another AWS account to do more projects? So, and I tell students all the time in our boot camp, you're going to do projects, but always turn them off. But this is why your documentation comes in handy because you can pick up where you left off. You're just going to have to recreate, and it should be easier to recreate what you already created because you documented it and you know how to do it. So it shouldn't take you even half as long as it did originally to create those resources, recreate those resources. So turn your resources off. All right, that's what you don't. That's a don't in your cloud training. Um, Last but not least, here's a do. Oh crap, my bad. Last but not least, here's a do. And this is a big one. And I had to get with this, and it wasn't until I got in my infrastructure role around engineers who also did infrastructure implementation. And I was in IC environment. It's normal. I had to stop taking pressure on myself. But here's a do. Don't be afraid to pause projects and come back to them later. Like you don't always have to finish the project that same day. All right. You don't even sometimes have to finish the project that same week. All right. Because you get stressed out with this stuff. Like this stuff is frustrating, especially when you run into a bug and you don't know why in the heck your website won't publish. and you set everything up according to the project. You don't know why in the heck you can't get past this error in your command line when you've done everything that you thought you could do, that you read about and followed the implement replication to a T. Again, this is why I talked about no matter how you replicate anybody else's project, you're going to run into your own set of problems that are different from the problems they ran into. Um, but don't be afraid to just pause and come back to it later. All right. Now, if you're gonna pause and come back to it later and go and it'll be the next day, cut your resources off. All right. It's like terminate everything so you can recreate it and you don't get charged for it. But pause, man. Just take it easy. And don't push yourself to because you can't push yourself to think more than you're already thinking. All right. And sometimes it's really, and I didn't understand this. One of my senior engineers told me this. Again, this was when I had my cloud infrastructure role. He said sometimes you just got to get up, walk away, and once you come back to it, you're like, "Eureka, I got it." And I didn't understand, like, "How? You only know what you know," until I did it. I was like, "Man, I was working on this real tedious." It was a live project for work that I was working on. And I had no idea how to, resolve this particular issue. And I got up and I walked away from, like, 2 days. I just started working on other things and walking around the house, went outside, went somewhere, hung out, just, like, ready really ease it off my mind. And I kid you not, I came back to it with just fresh thoughts, fresh start, fresh new idea, fresh new knowledge, everything restored, and boom, was able to think my way through that issue like within less than an hour. I was like, oh, you know what? Here's what I think it is. Let me pull it. Let me go check this repo out and implement this part. Or let me check out this doc here that I'm maybe I'm overreading something. I overread this, and let me try that. Boom, work for me. So and I can't explain it, but sometimes you got to just walk away to come back fresh. You know, a fresh set of eyes because you're looking at a screen for so long, you can things can all blend in, and you're easily. And in tech, you have to be. It's either is or it ain't. You have to be so detailed, especially when you're reading lines of code. You gotta be detailed. You detail oriented. It's funny, my wife would be like, "Man, how can you pick up on something so fast, like a small incremental change so fast, like if we were watching TV or something?" I was like, "Oh, I know what that is. It's da da da." I was like, because in the engineering world, we train ourselves to be that way to look for idiosyncrasy differences, because this is how we work. And so, yeah, you just come back and you gotta almost like if you ever watch a chef show. Me and my wife watch a lot of chef shows. You know, they when they after they taste food, whatever, they put like bitters in their mouth or whatever to kind of like reset their tongue, their taste buds, so they can taste the new food with a new food, taste all the flavors from different foods. It's the same way with in engineering and cloud engineering. You got to walk away to come back with fresher eyes to be able to see things more clearly, more profound, or things that you missed. So yeah, that's a do. Don't be afraid to pause projects and come back to them later. All right. So let me answer two more questions, and I'm gonna get out of here. All right. 25 said I finally take a certification. CCP. Okay, cloud practitioner. Just have to schedule the time to do it. Man, if you don't knock that certification out, you might still be able to get that job opportunity. Might still be open for you if you get that cert and stop procrastinating. But yeah, all right, just in time to do it. All right, I'm looking forward to you reporting back here within a couple weeks that you got that cert, just like BMF did. All right. I got one time for one more question after this. Based on your answer, there are no entry level, junior level positions available. If I was not mistaken, I don't know for. Oh, I think you're talking about for the. No, there are. There, one, yes, there are. Two, um, the new, and I talked about this in one of my previous Tech at Nights. I think 2 weeks ago, about how to search for cloud roles. So junior roles are often disguised as 2, 3 year, two. They're often under the guise of 2 or 3 years of cloud experience. Those are the new junior roles. There's really no such thing, especially anymore, as a pure junior role where they're going to say, "Oh, you don't have to have any cloud training." There are some jobs out there that exist like that. Yes, they do. They might not be labeled a junior cloud engineer. Most cases, they won't be labeled a junior entry level anything. They just say cloud engineer. and you search it by you do your search engine in a job search engine you're searching, search by like experience. Do they want search under entry level experience or 2 year, 2 to 3 year experience? Um, and it's because of how they register the job in the back end of their system. But yeah, it won't likely say entry level or junior. Like it's likely going to say cloud engineer, security engineer. And if it's 2 3 years, the assumption is it's an entry level. Like that's their way of saying the company's way of saying somebody that's a junior, somebody that's brand new, that's new to this. And 2 to 3 years, you can easily garner up that experience. You can get interviewed for roles that's 2 to 3 years if you never had a cloud job, even if you just even had just a year of just cloud doing cloud projects. Like that's how you because they'll be like, oh, you need and you got your certifications. Like that's it. You got your project, you've been doing projects for like a year or half a year. Um, you've even included some tech work you've done at previous jobs on your resume that adds to your experience. Boom, that's an additional year. That's 2 years right there. Like you can and this is why working with a cloud resume expert is highly recommended because they can pull out of you like a singer when somebody says, "Oh, you got potential." Like you don't know how to sing, but you work with a singing expert professional or singing coach. They can coach you up to they can get the best kind of voice out of you. Same thing with your resume. They can get out of you the actual technical things that you have done that you probably just have discounted because you've overlooked it because one, you probably didn't know it was really a tech skill. All right. But on top of that, yeah, you can get 2 to 3 year job ads are essentially for the most part like junior. That's junior. We would consider that to be junior level, uh, a junior level position. Like they're not going to pay the same thing for somebody they want 2 to 3 years as they would want somebody who has 4 to 5 years. The pay scales are different. So yeah, and I'm pretty sure if you did I'm gonna do it right now. Let me see. Cloud engineer, junior cloud engineer jobs, junior cloud engineer jobs. Man, I already found three already. Yeah, I gotta stop playing, man. I literally typed it in Google. I typed junior cloud engineers. Let me see if there's a link I could post it in the chat. This one on LinkedIn. Experience minimum of look, minimum of 1 year of project experience. Like hands-on experience with cloud platforms. That's you are doing project that's hands-on experience. I'll post this and they paying between 65 to 75,000 a year. I don't know why y'all expect these junior roles to be paying automatic six figures, but 65, 75 is still good money. Let me see if I can post a link to this. Let me see what this other one's saying. And that's AWS. This one is for Azure. Look, they say okay, bachelor's or degree. Still, I would still apply. Um, Basic understanding of cloud computing, familiarity with Microsoft Azure resources, eagerness to learn and contribute. Like these roles is that again, just because the degree is there on the job, like it's a wish list, you don't have to have that just to apply for the role. You still likely will get a call if you have a project. But I don't feel like always having to reiterate that. I have a whole entire video dedicated on how to apply for cloud engineering roles. Where I talked about this at length for like an hour and a half. And plus, I've talked about this like umpteen times on this platform and more. So let me put it in the chat though. I don't know if it's gonna pop up, but I just want to show you. I put it in the chat. All right. I'm gonna put the other one in the chat. Like, and you know what's funny? So, Allison, you said that like you was like, oh, I think your comment was like, based on your answer, there are no entry level, junior level roles, if I'm not mistaken. It's like you can do a simple Google search and see if it's if they exist or don't. Like, and I'm not trying to get on you, Allison. So don't take it as that. But I am gonna hold you as example of what I often see from newbies is they count themselves out before they even attempt to go after it themselves. Like, go try if something works before you say something don't work. Why? Because when you've been listening to too many big headlines, news headlines, and listening to too many fear mongers, you're not going to take action. So if you easily just did a Google search, or anybody did a Google search, junior cloud roles, you saw them all. They got cloud developers, cloud infrastructure engineer. Like, I'm sorry, going down this rabbit hole. Anyway, yeah. So they're there, drinking H2O. I'm gonna answer this last question. I'm getting out of here. All right, y'all. If y'all feel before I answer this question, if y'all feel that I've offered you some value, you found this whole topic to be valuable to you of do's and don't do's when doing cloud training as a self-taught engineer, cloud engineer, cloud security engineer. Let me get some ones in the chat if you found this to be valuable. If you didn't found this to be valuable at all, F yourself. Now I'm just playing. Put some zeros in the chat if you didn't found this to be valuable, because maybe I need to find topics that are more valuable. Because again, this whole thing is this tech at night theme is for us to talk about tech, cloud tech opportunities, and how to climb in this career field in a in a realistic way, with real strategy, real actionable steps. While enjoying ourselves with some spares, occasional cigar. Like grown folks do. Grown folks helping grown folks. That's what this is all about. It's not about me being better than you being better than me. It's us helping each other be better. So appreciate that, Mop. Who was that still? Who was in the grocery store? Hopefully, I helped your grocery run. I hope your I helped your grocery run be a lot more educational, Trents. But yeah, leave comments in the chat. Subscribe to the channel. Appreciate that one. Subscribe again. Use the Tech Me Up 2029 24 if you're interested in joining. Put that our Cloud Engineer Boot Camp that starts June 2nd and ends July 2nd. And we do you do about 4 projects in there, 4 tech projects on top of a whole lot of other stuff. So, all right, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate it, y'all. Remember, you had what it took the entire time. Cloud Tech Big Unc on Instagram, Twitter, and Demecos Chambers on LinkedIn, Facebook, of course. Be Cloud Engineers. Remember, you had what it took the entire time. All right, y'all, I'm out.